So the sort of societal impact of AI, we talked a bit about it last week, which is basically that people are getting used to interacting with AI in a certain way, right? And then there was a kind of a big revolt when ChatGPT 5 was, all of a sudden was on the scene. Sure, it's more powerful. It doesn't hallucinate as much, but it's not as friendly. A lot of people got upset because their good friend was gone. So they've actually made ChatGPT 5 more friendly already. It's more friendly. But there was a whole issue, kind of sidetracking a bit, but where at one time, if you remember, it was too friendly. Even if you did something dumb or bad, it would just be like, yeah, it's great. So you gotta figure out that balance. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining us for AI Weekly this week. We're going to cover everything from how to create movie posters with AI to album covers, AI news for this week, using AI to, kind of code and create your own apps for filmmaking or creating scripts or basically doing shot lists. Then also we had a new release from Nano Banana, which basically at this point everyone knows it's Google, but it released and we didn't know what it was. And then can you build a writer's room with AI?
So Nano Banana is just like a ludicrous name for a fake startup, is it?
Well, no, I think it's they're sort of putting out in beta and people could play with it, but it wasn't officially like Google. But the thing was that it was so powerful and so good that everyone, it went viral really fast.
I still have no idea what it is.
So it's just think of it as so we've been seeing this for a long time. It's just that it becomes a bit better than its predecessors, so you can be very specific when you choose to move something out. So
is it an image thing, or is it
yeah. So if I want to, let's say, have the example is in the grocery store, and then you see 2 cat food bags, and then it says add a third bag, and then it adds it seamlessly, and you can't even tell. So that would have normally taken a long time to duplicate it, modify it, etc. inside of Photoshop. And we've been seeing this for a long time. It's just been getting better and better.
Yeah.
Right. And then this can be taken to, you could apply this if, let's say, if I'm creating brand items, right? Then we talk about Higgsfield later, where let's say you have a brand object, like a cup or a product, and then all of a sudden you can just throw it into a video and now it looks seamless. So this Nano Banana is like that, right?
Yeah, that's one of the problems that is existed so far, is you can't do that fine manipulation of images with AI. That is kind of that's the next level, isn't it?
This one with Magelssen, it looks good, but you could still, I think, improve the skin a little bit. So I'll share a little bit of my coding project for fun. Just so what I did here is I typically use Claude, but I've also done it with Gemini, which can be quite good. I've done it with ChatGPT.
What's the background to this? You're like building a film.
Yeah, so I'm trying to. Well, what it was is it's this idea that, okay, I'm working on a short film, and a long time ago I said, well, I'm probably gonna have to do it with AI because I don't have the budget at the moment to literally do a whole short film, hire all the crew, do all the props and everything. So that's really what got me interested in AI to begin with. And so I also thought about that lately, more recently, which is, hey, why don't you try vibe coding? You can just try to code something, try to make an app, right?
So vibe coding is where you put in the vibe.
Yeah, like this is what I want, and then it codes it for you, and will it work, will it not work? Yeah. You can see on my screen now that this is one. So you've got the project title, and I built in specific things to try and keep the consistency better, but you could do a 1-page treatment, a beat sheet, and then you could do the full script. But in this case, I did notice some issues because even though I do have characters, the world, so you can build all this, the shot lister, so you can actually see that I've got a VO3 prompt, a runway prompt, an 11 Labs prompt. This is auto-generated. I mean, the script isn't all there yet, but so this one you see, actually, this was the academic analysis one. So you've got genre, color theory, sound design, pacing, rhythm, thematic. And so it lists out all the shots, the runtime, the genre. And so you click here, and this is inside Claude, which tends to be one of the best. So you can see that it gives me all the specific, if I'm going to go out and shoot it, right?
Yeah.
Lighting setup, dialogue. I mean, some of it, is a bit kind of, when you come to the film set, right, you're going to come at it, things are going to happen. But just this idea where I brainstorm a bit, I see this more of as prototype, not like I'm just going to use exactly what it says.
Yeah, more like doing an animatic.
Yeah, and they don't all work. And part of what you'll see is on my first one, you see this one doesn't have a character Bible.
Yeah.
Because right away, if you don't have a character Bible and things like when you prompt for VO3, you have to make sure that you say no subtitles, right, and that it's going to do the dialogue right. And this one, it didn't always quite do that right, and that's why ChatGPT was so detailed with all this context. But this one's not quite working.
This is an app running.
Yeah, this is an app running
within ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's like they're running on Canvas, so it's a ChatGPT Canvas.
Yeah. Before we get into Lovart, you were talking to the team about the latest developments in terms of the societal impact
of AI.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we talked about it last week a bit with ChatGPT 5, but this idea that or this restart because of the music. But so the societal impact of AI, we talked a bit about it last week, which is basically that people are getting used to interaction with AI in a certain way, right? And then there was a kind of a big revolt when ChatGPT 5 was, all of a sudden was on the scene. Sure, it's more powerful. It doesn't hallucinate as much, but it's not as friendly. So that was a big issue for a lot of people. Well, I mean, so much so that, now you can access 4.0 when in the paid models.
Yeah, I didn't really understand all that.
So that was happening. A lot of people got upset because their good friend was gone. So they've actually made ChatGPT 5 more friendly already. It's more friendly. But there was that whole issue, kind of sidetracking a bit, but where at one time, if you remember, it was too friendly. If you did something dumb or bad, it would just be like, yeah, it's great. So you gotta figure out that balance, right? You can see here the inside of Claude. What's hard to see is this is Writer's Room 1, but if you click on the so 1 is quite big, right? So it goes through this basically psychological profile of around 7 different people. So I literally worked with the AI to create this writer's room of like 7 different professional writers, and how they come at my writing with different things. And which was actually cool about this was that they weren't just friendly. They're like, no, that's not good. What is this? And then they kind of battle it out and talk about it. And like, it was actually pretty cool because this was kind of more general writer's room.
Yep.
And then the second one is, this is sort of the pros, like the directors, like I've got a Christopher Nolan type character. Again, I built in their psychological profiles, some of their history as much as I could, kind of with deep research and stuff. And what was cool about this one is that they even mentioned like, oh, that won't work. But then you actually have like Jonathan Nolan, who did the, what was that actually the AI movie, the robot one, Westworld. So,
okay,
yeah. And so he's saying, well, actually you can do it.
To Christopher Nolan?
What's that?
Any relation to?
Yeah, it's his brother. So he actually works with Christopher Nolan on a lot of stuff.
Right.
A lot of projects. And that's actually Memento. Memento is actually Jonathan's idea that Christopher took and made into a movie.
Right, okay.
So, but this one was actually great because then you see like people going against it, but then, this Jonathan Nolan character came in and was like, well, actually, we do that in the West world and it works, but you have to do it in such and such a way.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So it had this like, this back and forth where some people like it, some people don't. And it's fun. I mean, of course, it's just a shell, but it's an interesting shell, right? That you can kind of get some feedback from, so to speak.
Yeah. No, it's definitely. Again, it's just throwing up things that you wouldn't have thought about.
What are the creative ways that we can use AI in kind of fun and also to, sort of increase our intelligence or at least our ability to kind of back and forth with something with different viewpoints. Then the next one is very cool. In the sense that if I had this is my short film, and some of these I like more than others, obviously, but I actually gave it a pretty vague prompt. That's why you'll actually see the characters kind of Asian there and kind of Arab in other ones, right? So these are certain biases because I didn't overly prompt it. So, and I think I can tell that like some of this is ideogram, some of this is Chat GPT. Like this one on the far left looks like Chat GPT image. The second one looks like ideogram. This third one, I'm not sure, but and it's pretty cool. And it looks like it. I think what maybe bothered me a little bit was like, hey, this kind of looks like it's ripping off. What is that movie Glass by with Bruce Willis? I'm like, is it stealing from that design? Yeah. But it came out with like this one, which was quite cool, which I just kind of wasn't really expecting, and my design sensibilities wouldn't go that route.
It's not bad, that one, though.
Yeah, or like this one that could be maybe like a good book cover or something, right?
Yeah, that's...
So it's quite interesting just to see this, and then I gave it a different title for the film, and this one looks like a ripoff from an old Schwarzenegger film.
Yeah,
forgot the name of the film.
No, it does. Yeah, another one.
So I think that kind of bothers me that it's like some of this looks like a pretty clear ripoff. But, if I just take it and just, like I like these two down here and, it's just like, I guess for me, it gives me some encouragement. And then if I actually used one of these, I basically would carefully make sure it's not like ripping another design off. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like this one here feels like there's a certain series where I think it's called Missing or something like that, where they use a lot of social media, and that feels like it's using that.
It's hard to know at what point you stop, because everything's derivative in some...
Yeah, no, I mean it is. It's just that now you're being able to basically take those and derive from them faster.
This one looks...
Yeah, I
like that. I haven't seen that.
I like that one quite a bit.
Doesn't look like anything I've seen.
Yeah, and that one doesn't quite look like... Yeah. So...
Not that I'm an aficionado of movie posters.
No, I'm not either. It's just... some of them looks familiar and some didn't.
Did you specify the colors? Because this is like a very strong sort of purpley, yellowy, greeny.
Well, whenever you say sci-fi, so whenever you see cyberpunk, right? I think I might have mentioned cyberpunk or futuristic noir. That's pretty standard. Where they do the purples and blues. This was a bit different. This I mentioned sand, so then it brought those colors in, which I liked. I specifically mentioned the desert.
Yeah. So this is Lovart.
Yeah, this is Lovart .ai without the E, so Lovart without the E. And this is just one thing, right? So you can do different things. I was talking to another colleague, and he likes a certain type of music. And I was like, hey, what kind of, if you were to do a music album, this was Praveen, what would it look like? And so he gave me some ideas, and then it gives me all these 4 different options. Let's see if I can bring that up. Yeah, so you can see kind of, it gives you each one, and then you can also see at the beginning the different options you could kind of choose from. You don't have to choose out.
I like the way it does this.
Yeah, but you can think through all the specifics.
Right.
I guess in that vein, there was also this Kuz. I don't know how to say Kuz, but I haven't tried it yet. But where you can basically work with AI in more of a canvas type approach.
Right. So this is like a Chat GPT with visual.
Yeah.
Or visual.
Yeah. Basically Chat GPT with visual and canvas, where you can try to drag stuff on and then connect it, and then
it's like a mood board type thing.
Yeah, more like a mood board. And then you get certain outputs.
Okay.
And I tried to find out what specific model this one was using. Like, is it using Chat GPT? Is it using Claude? And I mean, they use different models for different things. So,
right.
Not entirely sure.
And what's the one? Higgs field was the other one you were talking about.
Higgs field. So Higgs field can be a bit, how do you say, not inflammatory, but for example, they had a product called Steel. So you're literally online, and you use the Steel option to just take someone's stuff and then recreate it.
Oh, right. Okay. Interesting. So they're going
it's like they're marketing
the whole other way.
Yeah.
It's like It's like Twitter. So all the safeties are off.
Yeah. So this is the one I was talking about that's good for bringing in like a brand object to, like, say you create something and now, or maybe I guess it could be something you've shot in the past, or maybe you have stock footage.
Yeah.
And then you can now bring that product in there. We're seeing this increase, right? So like Aleph from Runway. Runway actually already had this feature where you can add an object.
Yep.
Right. So I think that it's just getting better at it. And then Higgsfield uses their marketing to really kind of like, look at what we can do.
Got it. When I haven't done it for a while, but when I would use a generated image of something I thought was funny in a group of, like a chat group with my friends, never ever went down, like it never really, like people didn't find it funny. I just think it's like when it's created, when it's generated, it's not as genuine as like something that's like an original image.
Yeah. I mean, it made me think of what was it? Someone shared on our group chat the other day a dancing cat, but you could tell it was dancing too well because it's AI, and it's like, it's not as cute.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not real.
That's right. And my daughter was watching something which we thought had been, they'd had dubbed it with an AI voice, so it was like a YouTube program that she really likes that obviously was done with humans. But there was something a bit off about it, and it looked like they'd just fed a script into something, and they'd had done all of the VO in their voices. She just stood up and said, "It's all fake," and walked out. It's like, and so yeah. Well, thanks, Erik. It's been another interesting week in AI.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Simon.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching.